Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we will be playing a Project Blue Viserai deck, and our opponent is on Oscilio. We will side in all of our Arcane Barrier, and in terms of the deck, let's add in the Arcane Polarities and cut out Sigil of Suffering. Not a great hand to start out with. Definitely don't want both reduces in the opening hand while we have 0 rune chance out. But depending on how our opponent chooses to attack or send Arcane at us, we can play one of the reduces and then that makes the other one free. Opponent starting with Sigil of Conductivity. This has Arcane Shelter 1, so it eats up one of our rune chants. And because it is a Sigil, it also makes their wolves are free. And our opponent goes for Open the Floodgates for 4 arcane damage. I'm inclined to just pitch 2 here, one of the Spellblade Assaults plus one of the reduces, saving the other Spellblade and the other reduce for a later turn. Unfortunately, this hand isn't it. So we can very obviously go Maugrin followed by hit the high notes, but that doesn't really do too much. We could go Runehold Release into hit the high notes. Actually, let's go Maugrin into hit the high notes, force our opponent to block at least some damage. Really would have loved another blue here. Giving Spellblade Assault go again would have been ideal, but we can just go hit the high notes for 6. If this hits, it creates 1 more rune chant, and then of course Viserai is already triggered, so we have the rune chant available for reduce. Choosing not to block here, this gives us another rune chant, puts them down to 12. Alright, well, in case they're on any attacks, I will pass here, Arsenal the Reduce, which will now be free, and our following hand is looking pretty good as well. Opponent starts off with a Fry. I don't believe they'll be on any 0 for 4, so we can honestly just go ahead and play out the Reduce. This is basically all the value we'll be getting from it. And if we get punished, we get punished. Now, ideally with this hand, we can pitch the Arcanic Crackle for the Runeblood incantation, follow that up with the Rune Rager Swarm, which triggers Viserai, and of course our 3 Rune Chants. Then we can follow that up with a Reaping Blade, arsenaling the Mauvrion Skies. Opponent cracking Mage Master Boots here, which tells me they probably have something to play. Thankfully we do have AB3, and Scalding Rain coming in here for 4. We can definitely block that. Let's go and pitch the Arcanic Crackle here. It's not doing too much as it stands. And now we can just change up our turn so that we are sending Runeblade Incantation plus the Reaping Blade Etchings of Arcana here for 3. It is just dealing 3, so we can take that. We are down to 12 opponents at... we're down to 14 opponents at 12. So what I will do here is just send out the Runeblade Incantation followed by a Reaping Blade. This will be dealing 6 damage. And then we can arsenal the Mauvrion for the token. Opponent obviously pops the Sigil of Conductivity there, but they end up taking the other 2 Rune Chants. And 3 more damage coming their way. Opponent goes down to 7. I'm a little bit worried here, but they don't have their Mage Master Boots anymore, so it should be fine. Hand is just all Mauvrion Skies plus the Runeblade Incantation. Not too ideal, obviously, but we can definitely pitch basically everything here, barring the Rune Rager Swarm, which we can play out. It will have go again, and if we get to save another card, we can swing with the Reaping Blade. Lightning Surge, 0 for 4 here. We can definitely take that 4. Going down to 10. Fry coming in for 3. Let's go and block that for 2 with the Mauvrion Skies. What else does our opponent have? They are probably going to follow this up with some sort of arcane damage spell, for which we have the Vexing Malice, Cracking Blossom of Spring here. Amping 2, it looks like, into a Comet Storm, yep. And unfortunately, they don't have enough for that. They can also obviously just play out the Etchings of Arcana here, which they will. This is 5, let's block 3 of it. Down to 7, this triggers. Play out our Mauvrion Skies, force them to block at least the Rune Rager Swarm. Viserai also triggers here. They block 1 of that Arcane. This is coming in for 3, go again. Do they give us another card? They give us the Comet Storm. They saw both Comet Storms, surprisingly. And let's follow that up with the Reaping Blade, coming in for 1 Arcane and then 3 Physical. Would have liked to keep the blue here, obviously, but blocking the Etchings of Arcana means we get to save out on them getting a free Volzar trigger. They can grab the Arcane Shelter 1 again, which would mean trouble for us because it essentially means our Rune Chants do nothing, or one of our Rune Chants does nothing. Then pass it over to them. This hand is also pretty neat, actually. You can very easily go Modern Skies into hit the high notes, or we could pitch the flash. Okay, sure. But with this hand, we can very easily pitch. We can go Rune Rager Swarm because we get the Runeblade incantation. This gives that go again. For go again here, I think let's go ahead and block that for 3. And let's see what our opponent follows it up with. This is just 3 arcane. We are fine taking that. Our opponent has no way of playing on our turn. And with this hand, we can go Rune Rager Swarm for effectively 4 damage, followed by hit the high notes for 6 damage. We can also crack the Runehold Release here just to guarantee it. Our opponent pitching a blue here, so we shouldn't crack the Runehold Release there because they essentially get to block it out for free at this point. Let's follow this up with a hit the high notes for 6. Opponent blocking it out for 4, taking 2 here, blocking it out for 5, taking 1 here. Going down to 2, we do get a Runechant token next turn off of the Runeblade incantation, and awkward hand again, but let's see, what's the ideal move here? Crack Runehold Release into Rune Flash, pitching, drawn. Yeah, I think that's ideal. Let's crack Runehold Release. We can follow that up with the Rune Flash, which has go again, pitching either drawn or shrill, and then finish it off with a Singeing Steel Blade for 1 arcane and 4 physical. If our opponent pitches a blue here, which they hopefully don't, we can just go Reaping Blade, Arsenal the Singeing Steel Blade. But regardless, our opponent should be dead here. Okay, let's do that. Let's go Rune Flash, pitching this. Opponent pitching a red here, so we should definitely play Singeing Steel Blade. Looks like they did send a good game in chat, which means they might just have an all red hand, or a hand that doesn't block too well. Yep, opponent blocking for 3, taking 1 here. Let's follow that up with a Singeing Steel Blade and guarantee it. Opponent pitches a 3rd red, and I believe they block with a red here as well, if the Chainlink wants to load, but regardless, they simply did not have enough resources to deal with all our arcane damage. And we will take it from here. And with all of that being said, thanks for watching.